Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The show will be in English tonight, but you will have like a little bit of Creole, and it's going to happen right now. Hey, Haïtiens, comment nous y est? Eh bien, mesdames et messieurs, à soir, nous gagnons deux candidats qui invitent nous dans le show. Youn, c'est Keithconze que nous connaissons, avocat ça dans la communauté, que nous recevons plusieurs fois dans l'émission ça. Et puis, deuxième invité, nous, c'est un star dans la radio. C'est un monde très célèbre et nous très étonnés pour nous voir que il vient entrer dans la politique, l'a couru comme candidat ensemble avec Keithconze pour que il soit commissionnaire dans la ville Miramar. Donc, si nous, l'autre côté, nous pas en Floride, là, toujours bon pour nous faire connaissance avec des personnalités dans la communauté qui apprennent dans la politique. Surtout, dans le pays, ça a développé ces jours-ci. Il est bon pour nous gagner des gens qui font partie de la minorité et qui ont entré dans les affaires politiques, qui ont géré pour nous-mêmes, pour représenter nous. Alors voilà, alors Star Radio, nous connaissons sous le nom de Papa Keith. Et nous pourrons parler avec elle, poser un paquet de questions. Pour Keithconze, c'est Kelly Woodson qui t'a interviewé, donc on a une possibilité pour nous voir qui ça s'est passé. Alors installez-nous confortablement, nous allons retourner tout de suite avec l'invité nous.
Mesdames et messieurs, aucun nous pas au courant. Nous qu'à regarder à l'NTV quel que soit côté nous sur la terre. Nous pas obligés de comme casse. Nous pas obligés d'entrer ou bien Broward pour regarder à l'NTV. Nous qu'à regarder le 24 sur 24 sur le computer nous, sur lntv.tv. Et puis facile toujours, dans Play Store et sur le téléphone nous, juste download l'application iLNTV, qui est gratis. Et comme ça, nous avons toujours été connectés à Pigo réseau télévision haïtienne iLNTV. Relez-nous dans 1-888-816-7174.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a radio star with us tonight. His name is Papa Keith, and I'm sure you know him. And hello, welcome, Papa Keith.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here with you. I appreciate the opportunity.
We know the name Papa Keith, and you had to run for a campaign for me to know that your name is Keith Walcott.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, I was so surprised to see your sign in the street. Say, is that Papa Keith?
Yes.
In politics? I mean, what's going on? But I was very happy at the same time.
Wow.
Because I know good things about you. Your friend Nikki Mix is telling me very good things about you all the time. So you're going to tell us more about you tonight. How did that start? I mean, you were on radio, you are hosting Papa Keith Live.
Yes, on 103.5 The Beat.
Exactly. For how long have you been hosting that show?
Well, I've been on the radio collectively for over 30 years. I started off in underground radio.
You're not that young. Wow. Okay, now you know.
And then I moved to mainstream radio. I was on 99 Gems, and I went to 103.5 The Beat. Went back to 99 Gems, and then I'm back at 103.5 The Beat for the last 10 years now. Both stations are hip-hop stations, but they belong to two different parent companies. Yeah.
So you've been on radio for 30 years, and
Yes.
what started that new adventure that suddenly we see you on politics, in politics?
Right.
Tell me your story.
Well, about 10 years ago, when things were going really good for me on the radio, I started to like acquire things, right? So I got a home, I got a car, you know, and I thought this was what life was supposed to be. You work hard and you get these things.
You enjoy life.
And you enjoy life. But I felt this emptiness inside, and I couldn't understand like why, like what's going on with me. And I got involved with the election 8 years ago with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Okay.
And during that time, an organization called Florida Majority had invited me to host a rally. I've never hosted a rally before. I only voted for Barack Obama twice because he was black. I was not involved in
Politics at all.
in democracy, right? And after doing that event, I felt something.
Okay.
You know, and then
You had the call.
I had the call. I felt something, and then I started going out to more and more and more events. Shortly after, the Democratic Party picked me up to host all of their events that they would do in South Florida. So I got a chance to interview Barack Obama, bring him on stage, Hillary Clinton, Cory Booker, all the big Dems, you know, back for that election 8 years ago. And after that election, and it didn't go in Hillary's favor, everyone disappeared. And I was like, well, what do we do now? You know, I was like, what's going on now? And a good friend of mine and mentor, Senator Dwight Bullard, said, hey, listen, these people have been working very hard all of these years, and now they have to find jobs and figure out their lives. So I wanted to take that energy and put it into something. So I formulated a nonprofit called Papa Keith for People Matter. So I used my radio platform.
In which year was that?
This was in 2016 was the election.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe 2016 was the election. So in 2017, I launched this and started to use my platform on the radio to bring out entrepreneurs to talk about their businesses, to talk about community activists and what they're doing in the community. So I
You have
wasn't
very cool bosses if they allow you to talk about your nonprofit. Of course, it's a nonprofit. That would have been cheap from them not to let you speak about it, but it's still very good.
I think they were impressed that I was able to go through that political system and not lose any of my followers.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Right, so they allowed me to continue with that, and I did appreciate and still do appreciate it to this day. So from that point on, I just went all in. I started People Matter Festival. I started to bring people on and do pop-up events, and everything that I do would be community-based, from turkey giveaways to food drives to toy giveaways, no more parties. Everything was about community, and that was filling that hole that I felt in my heart.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. But tell me, loving politics, having received the call, is that enough to understand the system? Did you learn about the system as well? What is the role of a commissioner, for example?
Well, for me, what really led me to that is that my frustration of working with a lot of politicians over the 8 years with many different municipalities from West Palm Beach down to Florida City. I would work with these politicians in their communities to bring different resources and to bring my events there. And in working with them, I would get frustrated that we would start something, because, you know, I really advocate for the youth. We would start something, and then every 2 to 4 years, I would have to work with a different politician or a different group, and sometimes I'd have to start all over, or have to explain myself, and this consistency, you know, killing that for the youth is not good.
Okay.
So a few years ago, a friend of mine said, if you really want to make the change that you're seeking, you're going to have to do it from within, and you're going to have to do it with policy. So after that conversation, I wasn't excited to go into politics at all. I was actually nervous, like I don't want to give up my life, they're going to scrutinize me and all these different things. But as I sat with it and continued to do the work I was doing in the community, I realized more and more that I have to be the change that I'm looking to really make, and I'm going to have to not be scared, and I'm going to have to, you know, jump into it. So last year I started a nonprofit called Just Vote Period to get
another one.
Yes,
okay.
To get our youth involved with democracy in the voting process. You know, because most
and
of
the first one is doing what with the youth again? The first nonprofit that you opened?
It was more of an umbrella to do many different activities that I was doing. So I would be a part of food giveaways. Football camps, many different things I would lend myself to. I would partner with other organizations.
But this one is about...
This one was specifically about voting and democracy and getting our youth involved with the voting process, making it cool.
And did it work?
It did.
You had a lot of young people registering for
30% growth.
30% growth?
30% growth in just this last election that happened in November.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were very proud of that. I was on MSNBC, I was on local news here in South Florida. It was very exciting. And then after that, I almost didn't run because of that, because I wanted to finish my work with that. And then after the election, I sat back and I said, it's time.
It's time.
Yes.
So we are very happy that you're in, because I believe that we need less politicians and more
Public servants,
people with a heart to help us, to help the community, to help us grow.
Well, that's what I'm running
for
on.
everything. And
I don't want to
like
be
it.
considered a politician at all.
No, we don't want that.
Yeah.
You know, it's about time we change things.
Yes.
You know. And but tell me, so now you understand the system and all the policies, how to work with them, how to vote. You understand everything.
I understand a lot and enough
Enough.
to involve myself. I would not take this leap and this opportunity to help the community in Miramar without properly understanding the process.
Okay.
So I'm definitely prepared to do the work. And what brought me to Miramar, because a lot of people said, oh, with your name recognition, maybe you should run for mayor and the county and stuff like that. But I'm a true student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to start. To be quite honest with you, I didn't even know if I was going to like it or not, to be honest with you.
Really?
I spent so many years being loved by everyone as a radio personality. It's kind of scary.
And with politics, you can have enemies.
Exactly. So
you're not scared of that?
No,
at all?
not at all.
To have enemies,
Not at all.
people from other parties
because
that
I'm going
would
into it
dislike you.
I'm going into it with a good heart. And anybody who's going to be an enemy of mine wants to do bad.
But are you ready to work with Republicans, independents, everybody?
I'm ready to work with anybody who's going to do for the people.
Good. I love it. I love it.
Because that's what I'm fighting for, and that's what I'm doing this for, know? Because the city of Miramar is where I first came as an adult and settled 32 years ago here in South Florida.
Oh, you've been living here in Miramar for 32 years?
So I bounced around to different places, but I started in Miramar.
Okay, but now you live in Miramar.
And now
of course,
I live
obviously.
in Miramar. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I live in Miramar.
Yeah,
I would not be able to run for commission, and it wouldn't allow me to run for commission if I did not live in Miramar.
Yes, of course.
So
I people don't know that,
I have
and
a
they
30-plus year history with Miramar, but I also do live in Miramar. And I love the city, and I've watched it grow over the years.
Yes, there's a big difference between the Miramar that we see now and the one from 15 years ago.
Yes.
Which is normal.
Or even the one from 30 years ago when I first came, there was nothing
past. I was not here yet, in this country yet, do you see?
There was nothing past Palm. It was all cow pastures.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Some people believe that you're Haitian. Other people say, no, he's Jamaican.
Right.
So tell us about your family. I guess you were born here.
Yes,
but
so I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, New York guy.
Right,
Ooh,
New York guy, right?
New York guy.
My parents are from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
And the reason
so Trini boy.
Trini boy. So the reason people believe that I'm either Haitian or Jamaican is that they're more prevalent here in South Florida.
Okay.
But through my years of entertaining in South Florida, I have connected specifically with Jamaicans and Haitian community.
Jamaican
you know what I
community.
mean? Because they're the ones who embrace me the most, even more than my own Trini people who I love. The Haitians and Jamaicans have really, uplifted me and given me so many opportunities here in South Florida. So I have an ode to them.
Okay.
So I'm always at the Haitian Compa Festival hosting.
You're
I'm
everywhere.
always at
That's
a
why
Jamaican
people
event.
thought that you were Haitian. It's like, he's Haitian, you were born here, that's why he doesn't speak Creole. But he's Haitian. I said, I'm not sure, let's ask him.
No parle Creole.
No parle Creole. Wow, you know the right words.
Yes. But I mean, I learned from, my Haitian brothers and sisters. I learned from
What did you learn from us?
Frankie
What do you
Mix-a-Lot.
know about us?
From Frankie Mix-a-Lot, I said, listen, I want to talk to my Haitian people when I am hosting events. I don't want to leave them out. And years ago, and I know it's changed over the years, he said, then say this to them. Tout haïtien rele amwe. And I've been using that, until more lately. Last year at the Haitian Compa Festival, it's like, no, Papa Keith, we don't say that anymore.
But please translate it for our viewers, those who cannot speak Creole.
So that means all my Haitian people make some noise. Amwe, and then
Exactly.
they'll say Amwe.
But what is the new word? What do they say right now?
Oh man, I didn't learn it.
What are the new words?
I didn't learn it properly, but they told me at the Haitian Compa Festival, and I tried it, but I didn't memorize it.
Okay, so we have to fix that just after the show.
Yes.
You won't have time for a Compa Festival and any other events. You're going to be very busy as a commissioner.
I will be, but I'm going to make time for the Compa Festival because I'm not not turning my back on my people. I'm still going to be a radio personality as a commissioner. A lot of things people don't understand about being a commissioner, at least in the city of Miramar. It's a part-time job.
It is.
You know, so when you see a commissioner treating it as a full-time job, it should be a red flag.
Yes, it is.
You know?
Definitely.
So
a red flag.
I'm going to keep my job on the radio. As a matter of fact,
They don't have a problem with that at all.
no, they embrace it. They love it. They've been so supportive. I want to thank them as well. My whole family at 103.5 The Beat and my iHeart family, they've been very supportive. And so I'll be back there the day after election on the 12th of March, because election day is the 11th.
To celebrate?
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yes. That'll be
But
amazing.
let's say that you would not win. Will you still stay in the game and try again another time?
Absolutely. I don't give up. I don't give up. You know what's the other part of this for me? It's not just for what I want to do for the people. There are a lot of youth that I mentor and that I'm engaged with that are watching me right now. So my campaign, if you're paying attention to it, it's positive, it's clean, and I move with integrity because I want the kids to see that. I don't do anything negative at all to try to win votes or anything like that. If I don't do it the right way, if I have to lose, no problem.
If elected, what would you change in Miramar?
Oh, quite a few things. I think that the taxpayers in Miramar experience tax hikes every year. Every year, but you don't see the results for it. What happens is that, you know, I'm not trying to put your business out there, but you're a resident of Miramar,
Speak the truth.
right?
Go ahead.
When you are living West Miramar mostly, it's all gated communities, right? So when you have an issue, you call your homeowners association. You don't really have to deal with the city. The community in East Miramar, they have a different
It's a different
situation.
reality.
Right. They have to call the city of Miramar for everything. So they are higher voters. We find that the voters in West Miramar come out on a low, very low rate
Compared to the East part.
East because
Interesting.
you have less to depend on for the city. But the issue is that once you drive out of your community and you see the beautification, you know, as not the way it should be, when you drive out of the city and you see the traffic backed up and the roads not properly taken care of, then now that is the issue. But you see that your taxes is going up every year and you don't know what you're getting
We'll
for
talk about it much more after the commercial break. We'll be right back. Keith Walcott is our guest tonight, and he's telling us very interesting things about Miramar, what you will change. And I didn't know about everything that you've done in the community as a public servant. So you're already a public servant. You will continue.
Yes, that is correct, you know, because unfortunately, the city is being stifled right now as we speak, and that needs to change. You know, the city is very top heavy right now, and that needs to change. We love our city of Miramar, and I'm running on protecting the future of Miramar.
Do you have a lot of Jamaicans supporting you?
I do. And it's the beautiful part, because you mentioned earlier, like, people think I'm Jamaican, they think I'm Haitian, but what that really speaks to is that I'm the man of the people.
Exactly.
You know, so everybody kind of sees themselves in
you.
me.
Wow, it's so good. I forgot that I was talking to a radio host. He knows exactly the right words. That's very impressive.
You know.
So tell us something. I'm not saying something bad about you, but if you could change something about you, what would it be?
I think I would be more outspoken about, yeah, because I still have a way about me where I don't like to hurt people's feelings.
It's because you're a nice human being.
I am, but
That's why.
But sometimes people need to get their feelings hurt, and I think in this position,
And you don't know how to do that.
well, I think I'll be able to do it for the people who deserve it.
Because if you're
See
in
what I'm saying?
politics, you will
So if I'm
have to
dealing-
learn how to do it.
Exactly, you know? So I have to, in order for me to stand up for the people in the right way, I'm going to have to assert myself that way. So
But you don't consider yourself as a people pleaser.
I am a people pleaser, but with respect, you know? So coming from being a radio personality and I talk to 3 million people, obviously I can't
Yes,
please
you
3
have-
million people.
of course.
But collectively, you know, I do for the people. You know, so I may not be able to serve everyone, but collectively I do for the people. Everything I do is for the people.
But even though you don't like to hurt people, that doesn't mean that you're not a tough guy.
Exactly.
There's a difference between being tough and being...
A narcissist like Trump?
You're going to lose a lot of viewers, voters, if you...
No, I'm
Judging
saying.
the what you said.
No, listen, I'm not a Trumper, I'm not a MAGA, I'm not, you know, and I've been on the record.
Are you
know.
concerned about the future of America?
Of course I am, and that's another reason why I need to get involved. So he has a base of people that no matter what he says or does, that's gonna love it and
immigrants
agree with
sometimes.
it. And immigrants
Isn't it
sometimes.
weird?
Well, I'm happy that at least some of the Venezuelan community has woken up to his antics
Really?
and are speaking out about it, you know, some promises that he made and went back on.
Okay.
You know?
So we were talking about narcissistic personalities. So what do you like about yourself? What is your strongest point?
I think my strongest point is really connecting with
Yeah.
so
I
many
mean,
different types of
we
people,
know that.
different cultures.
Tell
and-
us something
yeah.
that we don't know.
I think another thing I like about myself is that I'm very practical.
Practical.
Yes, so no
That's
matter
important.
yeah, so
You're
no
down
matter
to earth.
yeah, no matter how much money I have or what's going on, I can still connect with a person who has less than me and a person who has more than me. I'm very tapped
That's
in.
a good quality.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Imagine Art Media Productions, with nearly 20 years of experience, provides clients with a variety of marketing and production services. Imagine Art can help promote your business on any local or global media platform. We handle all aspects of your campaign, from creative content production to campaign strategies. Imagine Art also offers professional entertainment services, including DJ services, artist booking, 360 photo booth, animated gobo projection, photography, uplights, dance on the clouds, sparkles, sound engineering, and more. We are the one-stop shop that you need. Visit our website or call us at 305-303-0415.
Keith Walcott,
Yes.
why should we vote for you? I mean, remind us.
Because Miramar needs a change, and I'm the change that Miramar really needs. We need somebody who's going to fight for the people and not for politics. We need someone who is going to make our city as diverse as it actually is. We're a very beautiful and diverse city, and the dais needs to show that. And I'm going to be there to represent everyone in Miramar. You're not going to have to worry whether you're Latin, Haitian, Jamaican, Trini, white, Muslim. It does not matter. I'm here for everyone like I've always been. My track record has proven that I've killed cared and loved for people all my career. And now I have the amazing opportunity to pour all of this love into a city that I've known and loved for the last 32 years. Most people, when they launch their campaigns, they give you a laundry list of things they want to fix and do. I didn't put out any of that. I waited. I waited to speak to the residents. I knocked on doors and found out what their issues are, what matters to them. I understand that the people in the East have issues that matter, and I understand people in the West of Miramar have issues that matter to them. And I'm going to tackle those things collectively. I'm also going to create programs for our youth. Because the youth don't vote, they don't get these opportunities. As simple as opening up a gym on a Friday night to keep the kids off of the street and give them opportunities, opening up a studio for them to do things that they love right in the city of Miramar, right in their community. These are things that I'm going to advocate for and I'm going to present. My name is Keith, Papa Keith Walcott. I am looking to be your next commissioner in the city of Miramar, seat number 3. I would love your vote on March 11th.
Papa Keith, I like you. Nicky Mix was right. You're a good guy. You're fantastic.
I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're very
and let's
welcome.
do it for Miramar.
Yes, absolutely. Mesdames et messieurs, on a retourné dans le moment. Our next guest right now is Keithconze, attorney Keithconze.
Mr. Conze, thank you so much for joining us here.
Kelly, thank you for the invite. Extremely happy to be here with you.
Wonderful. Mr. Conze is running for the Miramar Commission seat number 4, correct?
Call me Kurt. You make me feel old.
No.
I call you Kelly, you call me Kurt.
No.
It's all good.
But seat number 4 for Miramar Commission, correct?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tell our viewers a little bit about yourself who might not know you.
Very well. I have been a resident of Miramar for the past 28 years. And I've been practicing law for about 25. I may look a little young, but
my gosh.
I started early. And I have about four daughters. They were all born and raised in Miramar. My business is in Miramar, and I have a vested interest in the city. And I don't like necessarily the way that the commission is spending money. And there were some other issues that I did not agree with. So I decided, you know what? Instead of asking my friends, why don't you run? Why don't you run? I decided, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump in and get involved, and that's pretty much why I'm here today.
You say you have 4 daughters. I know it's a full house. I'm thinking about 4 of me.
It's kind of interesting. When it's Thanksgiving, it's like I'm the only guy around, and it's nice. But I was always hoping for a boy.
Aww.
And every time that, we tried, it's a girl. So at the end, they start coming by twos, because now I told you I have twin girls.
Right.
And I realized, you know what, it's a sign from above.
Yes.
And I said, God, I get the message. I'm stopping. I'm good. So after 4, I'm done.
And also, women in leadership, you need a good team of women behind you. That's what it is. Jalen Hurts from the Philadelphia Eagles could tell you that, right?
For sure.
Or past Super Bowl. So wonderful. So in terms of, running, because I think one of the biggest things when people run for office, they have all these different ideas. They all have all of these focal points that they want to be able to take care of and to advocate for. And so in terms of your stance, you put fiscal responsibility, government job creation, economic empowerment, affordable housing, environmental protection, standing against discrimination, educational advocacy.
Correct.
But on that list, what is the one thing that you feel as though you really want to tackle it on your first day of elected?
Fiscal responsibility. I think that will be my number 1 agenda for the city, because when I said that was the first thing I told you, I do not like the way the commission spends money. I'm not saying that every decision they make, it's not the best, but I think there are some decisions that are made at the commission level where we're spending money. Those decisions can be better. For example, we recently spent about $250,000 on a statute for Usain Bolt. Now, I have no problem with having a statute that serves the community, but the city itself is a very diverse city. Instead of spending this entire amount of money on one statute, maybe we could have included the other communities as well. Maybe something for the Haitians, something for the Latinos. Instead of having $250,000 for one, perhaps we do $50,000 here, $20,000 there, and so that way everybody can feel that they belong and it's inclusive versus just one person, just one community, and everybody else is looking from the outside. So that's just one example. The number of parties that we have in Miramar. I mean, we
one thing about Miramar, you will see them on Eventbrite.
We party. And Kelly, so you understand, I'm not saying that we should not have a party,
Right.
you know, let's say, for example, MLK,
Correct.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, 4th of July, you have a parade, you have a party, that's fine. But the number of parties that we're having, I think the money spent for those parties, they can be used for different things. Let's say, for example, it's an aftercare program for kids and a program for the elderly. That's the role of government. I don't have a problem with spending money like that versus spending it on parties, and that I have a problem with.
Now, the thing that I'm noticing here is that you're wanting to make sure that this money is allocated in the best parts, but some may disagree with that, right? So how are you going to work with those who might not agree with you if you're elected?
Listen, and the commission, it's a 5-member commission. You have the mayor and 5 commissioners. You just one vote. So the idea is to speak to your colleagues and pretty much have an open debate, and hopefully they can see it your way and you can try to convince them so we can do better for the city itself. It's not something about just me who wants to change everything. I know I'm just one vote. I cannot change things overnight. That's number one. And with just one vote, there is a lot that I will not be able to do with that one vote. So we got to get alliances with others, and hopefully they will convince me on some of their ideas. And probably not on the party side, but you know, and I'm hoping to do the same thing, you know, for them, so we can have an open debate and make the best decision for the city.
Now, what is one way that you want our residents to be heard? Because I've been watching a lot of the commission meetings, and one thing about Miramar that I give Miramar a lot of credit is the residents come out. They come out to these meetings and they want to have their voice heard. For example, the incinerator issue that's going on with Miami-Dade. For those who might not know, they're trying to build an incinerator within Miami-Dade County that is literally hugging
less than a mile away from the city.
And that can, you know, put on a public health issue, right? And so, for example, these things, or what you say, putting money correctly, how are you going to make sure that residents' voices are heard?
Well, by having a lot more town hall meetings, for example, and I know by knocking on doors and speaking to residents, they've complained a lot about from the east side, most importantly, they complain a lot about the commission not having a lot more town hall meetings to explain to them the issues that the city is facing. So that's one thing. And another way that I would like for the residents of Miramar to be heard more is by the way that we organize our election. Our election's in March, all right? And listen, seriously, when you have elections held in March like this, that's a recipe for a low turnout election. So I'm saying perhaps, you know, once I get there, I'm not there yet, but once we get there, maybe we can discuss with our colleagues. Can we move the election, instead of having it in March, having it just like everybody else in November? I think we will have a bigger participation of the residents voting on issues or on people. You know, it doesn't have to be just voting, period. Instead of having, let's say, 10,000 people who vote, why not having 30,000, 35,000, 40,000? So I think those are issues that I would like to bring to the forefront and see if they can see the light.
Now, it's interesting that you said it, because a lot of voters, especially from this past election, looking at the presidential election, they fell into this spirit of, I don't want to vote anymore, right? They fell into this spirit of feeling like their voices weren't heard, their vote was not heard. And so, like you said, your election being in March, it might bring some difficulty, and it doesn't help. Have you spoken and knocked on doors to voters who kind of feel a little bit deflated?
A lot. And keep in mind, the last election as well, you know, Miramar is a stronghold for a lot of Democrats, you know, and a lot of them were not very happy with the result. But elections have consequences. So when the leaders that we're choosing, for example, they're not so enthusiastic, and the messaging may not have reached the people that they were trying to reach, and that caused problems. So a lot of the people, you see there is a lackluster when you go to their houses. Yeah, I'm gonna vote, but I was not very happy with the way things turned out last time. So it's our mission and our responsibility to explain to them, well, that was the general election for presidents. This is as important of an election as the last one. Those are the real issues dealing with your community, your infrastructure, your police department, your firefighters.
Yes.
And you need to be involved. And a lot of times, thank God we were able to convince them and to be involved and engaged.
No, yes, and voting matters. I tell any person unfortunately, if the election did not go in the way that you wanted it to, that does not mean you have to stay silent whatsoever. And exactly, it happens, and it will happen, and it's an unfortunate part of this life or this cycle, right? But I want to tap into, because Miramar is, I mean, I'm 24, right? But I remember Miramar at 3 years old, and I just remember so much housing being built even when I was younger, let alone now, right? And we know that the biggest crisis, probably I would say the number one crisis in Florida, is affordable housing, and that is what you want to focus on. How are you going to ensure that affordable housing is something that is highly focused on? Because so many people say that in their political agenda, but sometimes we don't see it getting done.
A very good question, Kelly. And let me explain to you what I would like to see done. In Miramar, specifically on the west side of the city, you've seen a lot of construction, right?
Oh, yes.
And there is this new law that was recently passed, which is called the Live Local Act that DeSantis signed into law, which allows some developers to come to a city like Miramar, and whether it's an area that is zoned commercial or industrial, to start, they don't need to have the area rezoned. They can, pull their permits, and then they can start building. There are some things they have to abide by, but what I would like to see is you're very young. Actually, you can be my daughter, by the way. I'm not, seriously. I'm 51 years old.
Oh my God.
When you say 24, I remember I was watching something on TV, and it was Jamie Foxx was telling a joke as far as him going to the club and seeing those girls, like little young girls, and said, well, I'm 24, and he said, well, I'm 49. I said, oh, you're 49, you must have something like a disease,
Oh my God.
I just
not a disease.
I just kind of thought, well, she's 24, she's my daughter. Yeah. So, no, I digress. So. And the issue of affordable housing, when I came to Miramar back in 1996, all right, I came to the city and I immediately fell in love with the city. It was there is this thing about Miramar. It's like this family-friendly atmosphere that we have.
That is one thing.
And I would like to keep that. I don't want that's I don't say that's unique to Miramar, but that's part of what makes Miramar Miramar. Yeah, can we have a lot more housing be built to alleviate the shortage of the housing crisis? Absolutely, but we can do it in a moderate fashion where we don't overdo it, and to be certain that the family-friendly feel that we have in Miramar can still remain with us. So the manner in which the Live Local Act is implemented, I think it's important, not because I'm an attorney, but I think we need to have real debates on that particular act and see what the vision is. Our vision will be for the city, so we can keep it with the family-friendly feel that it had before, that it has today, and we hope that it will continue to have in the future.
In terms of affordable housing, you mentioned about this family feel that Miramar has.
Right.
Now, you are Haitian-born, right?
Born and raised. I came here when I was 12 years old.
12 years old.
And now I'm 51, so that's like...
many years. many years. But you know the importance of being an immigrant, and you know the importance of what that means, especially in America. And when you mention families, I can't not think about what's happening in terms of our current administration. And and ICE and these raids. And I was speaking to someone the other day that it was very funny about this, because we were talking about how the ICE office in Myanmar, located in Myanmar, was barely even seen, spoke about prior to this election, right? But now it's the center of what we see here. And so how are you going to ensure that families are safe in the city of Myanmar? Because you are, like I said, Haitian-born. You are an immigrant yourself. How are you going to do this and make sure?
Prior to coming here, I was at a different show, and we were pretty much doing education, because you got to be honest with people. At this level, we talk about a commission level. It's a local position. It's not a federal position. You're not a U.S. senator. You're not a congressman or congresswoman. So can you do things? Yes, you can. And the best that we can do, I'm an attorney by profession, and what I've done for many, many years is to try to educate the community. What are your rights? What can you do to protect yourself and your family? And that's what I have been doing. I'm not going to be here and tell you, you know what, I'm going to pass law to change what's happening, because it's not within my purview. I cannot do that. But what we can do is to not only education, but as well as the advocacy, to talk to our colleagues, you know, whether it is from the state level, from the federal level, whether it's your mom who is into politics, whom I know, and others, and they already know. The leaders in our community, they already know, just like I know, the plight that our community is going through. The other ones who may not know, let's say, for example, it might be a Latino congressman or congresswoman, a Jewish senator. Have a talk with them, a frank talk with them, explain to them what our community is going through, and perhaps we can get an ally from this person and change things. Things are not going to change from one day to the next, and I'm being blunt. I know things don't look good. We have a lot of executive orders that were signed, and a lot of them are being implemented as we speak. And like you said before, elections have consequences. I don't want to say, you know, we have to, you know, tighten up for the next 4 years. I would rather say we need to tighten up for the next 48 months, because when you put it that way, mentally speaking, you know, it goes by a little faster. So we have a lot ahead of us that we need to do, but you know, a step at a time, we'll get through it. You know, it happens every time. You know, when it's done outside, at some point, there will be light.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous retournons dans le moment. Rappelez-nous que Assoya n'a suivi une interview que Keithconze a réalisé avec host Island TV, Kelly Woodson.
What do you feel makes you different as a candidate? What helps you stand out in terms of running for this seat?
I think number one, my background. I did not become who I am from one day to the next, and my legal education, I think, helps me tremendously in regard to the endeavor I'm going through right now. That's number one. Number two, my life experiences. I'm a small business owner. I've been doing business since I've been an attorney for 25 years. So I think for the past literally 20 years or so, I've been a small business owner. I have the mindset of a small business owner. My other opponents, with the exception of one, they don't have that much of a business experience. I believe in creation of jobs versus having the government give you a job. You follow? It's like, if you can
explain a little bit about that. Kind of elaborate on that.
I like to see small businesses thrive. And that's one thing. When I'm knocking on doors, I'm getting a lot of complaints from different communities. Every now and then you have little grants that are available, you know, for small businesses, whether it is to beautify the front of the business or things like that. And a lot of the small business owners, they're not very satisfied with the manner in which those grants were given to different other businesses. Some believe that there might have been favoritism done. Do I have the facts to prove them? I'm telling you, I'm reporting to you what I've heard. You know, so it's like little things like that. I would like to empower more small businesses to be created, and by the creation of small businesses, we create wealth. So it's not something that anybody can just say and do. I've done it, and I know I can put my 2 cents in to be certain that we can continue what I've done to have it replicated throughout the city if possible.
And what do you say to those that, sometimes when you're running for office, especially for the first time, they say, well, you have no political experience, you have no experience whatsoever. What do you say to those type of comments?
Sometimes that's good, because you need new blood sometimes. Change is good sometimes. I'm not going to say that I have an answer to every question or to every problem that I may face or that the city may face. But I know I'm coming in with an open mind, with fresh ideas, fresh blood. So that's what I can contribute. I don't think a city been stagnant with the same leaders, for years and years and years. I don't think that helps. And the people of Miramar watching me, it's not helping you. It's not. You need new blood, you need new ideas, and I am one of your choices. I would like for you to consider me.
What does it mean to be Haitian for you in terms of this seat, and how proud are you of being a Haitian in terms of your roots?
Oh my God, I think I've been doing interviews for many, many years. That's one of the most loaded questions. You asked me the question, I felt like, I felt it through my bones. I came from a hard-working family. And my family is what I believe to be the epitome of the Haitian families in the U.S., where you have your dad working very hard, your mom working very hard, and their entire goal is to see their children, to do much better, intellectually, financially than they did. And when they see that, they don't need money. It's like just the pride of seeing their children thrive. And that's what I have done. I've made my parents very proud. My mom is still alive. My dad,
wonderful,
rest his soul, is not there. He's seen some of the things that I've accomplished. But at this juncture of my life, and that's something else that I think is important, Kelly, I think I've done enough from a personal standpoint. I believe I'm a success personally. I've done well. But what is personal success when you can do a lot more? Let's say you have a community, and the question that you're asking, what does it mean to be Haitian? For me, if I can help or assist in any way, instead of helping one person from my law firm, if I have the ability to assist, whether it is 50, 100, 1,000, to do better. Look at Martin Luther King. This is a person who will never die. When people refer to him, they're not saying, well, Martin Luther King had X amount of money, he did well financially for his family. What did he do for society? And by doing a lot for the greater good, for the greater society, I think we achieve a lot more. So at this juncture in my life, if I can just do that a little bit, at that level, not just from a personal standpoint, but from the collective standpoint, I think I will make my mom very proud as well.
Mr. Keithconze, thank you so much for joining us here on Set. It's a pleasure.
Kelly was awesome. I'm shocked we already done.
Yes, we are done. That's how, when you're having fun, it goes by quick. Best of luck to you in this race.
Mesdames et messieurs, merci que nous t'es branché là à soir dans le WhatsApp Caribbean. Our next appointment is next week, same time. Bonsoir.
I'm Cindy. I'm studying to become an English teacher, and I love Island TV. Why? Because we are the Caribbean. We are Island TV. We need to reveal our fundamental contributions in America. We need Island TV to reveal our different beautiful Caribbean cultures for the world to respect and understand us better. Grow your business while supporting the only Caribbean television station in Florida. Advertise with Island TV.